Boom, we're live.
Boom. Boom.
Welcome to FFIB, another special episode starring Jason and Tom, your friends in the knife world. We won't steer you wrong.
Nope.
We
We're
make
missing somebody, though, Jason. We're missing somebody. I thought there was only 3 of us today.
Well, I'd say we're down more than just our guest. Mailman EDC was not able to join us tonight. He is, I got that wrong. There's another word in the middle. Mailman down EDC. That's it. He wasn't able to join us tonight because he's sick with the flu. And Tom's not feeling great. I had a fever earlier, so I'm not feeling the best. I think this is like, you're going to see a half-ass effort tonight, guys. But
normally 2/3 ass effort, but tonight only half-ass.
You'll get your money's worth. Don't worry.
You will, for sure.
As long as PB's here, we're all right.
I have a weird sickness, as in I just feel like I'm not like sick. I have a awful cough that's coming and going that I'm on suppressants for, so I should hopefully be able to talk for this whole episode. But the thing I got is like I just feel like I can't sit still, but I'm tired and I'm just very restless, and my legs want to like just move back and forth, and I'm cold, and it's just a weird feeling. It's just uncomfortable. It's not like I got the flu. I just feel super uncomfortable all day long.
I made dinner tonight for the family, and I could not taste the food that I was making so well. I was making chicken. It was just tomato soup. And when I was done, I served it up. My wife was spit it out. She's like, "This is salty as shit. What'd you do?" And the whole time I was making it, I felt like it didn't have any flavor. So I wonder if I've got the Rona. I don't know. But for the second time lately, when I got sick, I got a mild fever, but I didn't know I had a fever. I was just like, I was sweaty, and kind of tired and a little dizzy, but I didn't feel the aches and chills, that you normally get when you get really sick. So that's like twice now I've had that weird symptom, and I wish our illnesses would get a little more consistent so I knew what the hell I had, but they don't.
This is my biggest problem is with this cough. If I go to hit the weed, I will be coughing for 37 minutes straight, nonstop.
Yeah, that's really a bad idea.
It will never stop.
So in Adam McCoy's house, half of his house has the flu and the other half will have the flu.
Yeah. Sorry,
Adam. Hi, guy.
Oh, I got his knife. He was just talking to me. Let's do an unboxing. Because he just asked me if I unboxed his knife yet, Mr. Blake. He sent me a knife to get sharpened, and it's sitting on my desk because I just got out of the mail. And he's like, wanted to know if I'd played with it yet. That's how cool of a knife this is.
Chris Elliott's here. What's up, buddy? Chris, you know what I like about you? I like that you consistently bring content on almost a daily basis. You're throwing up pictures, you're asking questions, and it's nice. It's nice when people interact in the group. So thanks for that, Chris.
Is Chris the one who I just informed what FFIB? Yeah, it is. I just told him what FFIB was a minute ago, and he found it.
Ryan's here. Andrew's here. Good afternoon, Andrew.
So we're going to do...
Tom, are you unpacking your microphone? Because it sounds like you're unpacking the mic.
We're going to do some critiquing of packaging. I approve of Blake's packaging. It's taped up on the outside. That's fine. But it's easily openable with a knife. I didn't need to take a chainsaw out to cut through layers of duct tape.
I understand that half of you you get a boner from taping the knife to the inside of the box, but I really hate it.
I fucking hate it. You have no idea how many knives I've almost put snail trails with the knife on, trying to slice, get it out of there.
I know you guys measure your dick size by how much tape you put inside the box, but it's really annoying to have to unpack it, and it gives me anxiety because I'm worried I'm going to cut the knife inside the box. So It just doesn't need to be that way.
Ooh, so he used good packing materials, not overkill. Let's see what Blake sent us. I think it's something pretty cool.
David Greco's here. Oh.
So this is a duck, right? This is a Usler duck. Is that accurate?
That's what it is.
Pretty cool. It's really nice. I haven't handled one of these. It's pretty uncommon that I get stuff in that I haven't had before. This one is not crossed my desk yet.
People I respect, including Blake, love those knives and just go on and on about how good they are, but I've never handled one.
For a thumb stud knife, spectacular action. Like, you know, my struggles with thumb studs, just right away I can open it. No problem.
The pocket clip looks really excellent. I like the way the lock bar looks. They did a really nice job cutting that out with the wire EDM instead of using a bandsaw like some makers.
Oh, yeah. That's how it's such a small little reveal.
Interesting how it goes all the way up to the pivot. I like the pivot collar. Looks like it's 3D contoured.
Yeah.
How is it in the hand?
It's pretty comfortable. I'm seeing what else is in this box before I move the stuff around. Okay. It's comfortable. Got good ergonomics. It's got some swoopies for your fingers, but not like aggressive swoopies like a Mannix.
It's not like an Incosi.
Yeah, it's not like an Incosi. I like it. I dig this. I understand why people would want one of these now.
How does it feel like BTE? How's the thickness behind the edge?
Like, I think Blake wanted me to mirror this one.
Yeah.
I always love it when people send me fancy knives to mirror because it's so easy, because the bevel is so tiny on this one.
Yeah.
You just shine it up. You're not going to see any scratches because it's being shined up, and that's all you're going to see. But
yep,
it's a very small bevel, so it'll be, you can see a little glint in the.
Yeah, I think on a knife like that, it looks really vulgar to put a low angle on it so that it's got that big fat, Sharpie marker of an edge. I want it to just kind of glimmer.
And Blake also sent this bad boy.
Oh, it's got frag. That means it's fast, Tom.
Well, this is the normal one, right? This isn't the fragged out monkey frag one. This is the normal Undamzon.
I believe so.
But this one's been, I'm guessing he sent it to Lynch to have them dark abyss wash it or whatever it's called.
No, he did not, because Lynch doesn't darken CRK, Tom.
Ah. It's darkened. It's got a Lynch clip on it, and this one's getting a mirror. I warned Blake. The mirrors look cool. They're fun. They're more for fun than anything else. But that's what he wants. So he's getting a mirror on this guy so he can make some cool Instagram videos.
There was a guy that got like foaming at the mouth at the idea that somebody would want to take nice pictures of their knives. He really got angry about it, and he was like, I don't understand. It's like somebody just beat up his sister. I don't know. He was furious. And to that dude, I would just say, calm down. Let people enjoy their stuff. Like, photography is a legitimate hobby, just like knife collecting is. And if somebody wants to take pictures of their knives, they want it to look awesome. Why is that something to make fun of? I don't get it.
I don't want to look at shitty pictures all day. Believe it or not, I like it when people throw in some artistic stuff that I can enjoy the artistic quality of the photo instead of just like, that's a Spyderco. I have one of those too.
I like a knife in the moment photo, but I don't see the problem with cleaning it up before you take a picture of it.
No.
What's the issue? Like, if mom's going to take your picture at Christmas, do you comb your hair? Yeah, you do. So I don't understand the problem. Some people just need a therapy, I think. They get really mad.
They do.
Somebody in the Usler group said that they're 0.015 behind the edge. So as point of reference, that's pretty thin. Every time I measure a Spyderco, I'm coming in like 0.02 or 0.022. So we're talking about being significantly thinner behind the edge. The thinnest thing I've ever measured, Tom, was
no. Nothing.
I don't know where you're going. It was my Rask. Behind the edge, the Rask is like 9.5 thousandths, I think. So this is 15 thousandths. So that's pretty thin. Of course, the thinner you go, the more fragile the knife, right? So you don't want to go too thin. But 0.015 is pretty strong.
There's also, I don't know, there's got to be a point where like how thin you make your knife makes it like a kitchen knife that's kind of like flexible. It's super thin, but it's got a little give to it because it is such a thin
Well, thinness behind the edge and thinness of the blade are not the same thing, right?
That's true.
So CRK can be pretty thin behind the edge, but still a pretty stout blade because they take the time to do a really good hollow grind. That is one advantage of a hollow grind.
Yeah.
So let me measure this new top secret PM2 I got here. 26. It's a fat boy. So yeah, that Usler you're holding is almost half as thick behind the edge as a PM2, and no one would say a PM2 isn't slicey.
Yeah.
Don, what do you open eyes about?
He's just amazed, I think, at how thin behind the edge it is.
I guess, yeah. New knife day, Tom.
For you, personal?
Well, it's for me, but it's going to be a giveaway knife.
Ooh.
We got a giveaway knife, kids, and we got it from our friends at GP Knives. GP Knives, where is my stuff? I can't find it. So, just like last time, GP Knives sent me an advanced copy of the Satin Blade Rex 76 PM2. So, if you guys like the bricky look, but you didn't like the DLC, you can get yourself a satin finished Rex 76 PM2. So these are coming out on Tuesday. They're going to be available at 10 a.m. Central Time. That is 11 Eastern. That is 9 a.m. Pacific. So Mountain Time's not real. Just like the last knife, we've got the brick texture on the G10, really grippy in a nice way. The knife came out of the box with perfect action. Really beautiful knife. And I took some pictures of it. I'll be putting together a giveaway sheet, and we'll give this one away just like the last ones. So really pretty knife. I believe these arrived a little while back, and GP was working through some things in-house and decided to launch them right along with Valentine's Day announcement. So good timing. They'll be available on Tuesday morning.
That's a good-looking knife right there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And Rex 76 is a neat steel. It's not been used very much at all. If you like Rex 45, you probably like M4. You probably like knives that have a high hardness that are also good edge retention, but still reasonably tough. So the big advantage on 76 over 45 is it seems to have a little bit more tungsten in it. So tungsten has really good wear resistance. So you should see a slightly improved edge retention from 76 versus 45. But our friend Dr. Laren Thomas hasn't gone at it yet to test it. So I don't really have good data yet. Andrew Smith says it was used to cut alloy steel automotive gears.
I always love
like that all day.
When they tell like the original purpose of a steel, like 52100 is a ball bearing steel. I'm like, oh, I was looking for that, or I was looking for a steel that makes cookie cutters out of it.
Ball bearing steel is precisely the properties that I need. A bitter root beer is fire. I bet it is.
It sounds like one I may have had before. There's like different styles of root beer, if you know what I mean. Like there's the old timey, like the real legit stuff. I have a feeling a bit of root beer sounds like one of those like old school, real deal things.
Abita is a New Orleans based or a Louisiana based microbrewery.
Okay.
So they make beer and they make root beer, I guess. Mr. Massey's here. Did you see Jimmy's new tat? I
saw him post something about sitting in a chair. I didn't see a tat though.
He had this like Harry Potter looking skull with a snake in it. It looked like the mark that all of Voldemort's Death Eaters
had. Don't say that name. Don't say
I know. I know. But then he had it covered up with an eagle. It was like an eagle wrapped in an American flag diving down to smite our enemies. It was pretty cool. So he's all America AF on his shoulder now, and that Slytherin tattoo is gone.
So I approve. Get that Slytherin out of here.
Yeah, get out of here.
Let's be honest. Like if we were sitting in the sorting chair and they put the sorting hat on us, we might end up Slytherins. We might end up that way.
My wife keeps telling me I'm a Ravenclaw, and I'm like, I don't know.
I'm the house that has no distinctive qualities about it.
Right. No I want to be the house that no one's heard of.
Yeah. No.
Although she's a Hufflepuff, according to the thing. There's a special website you go to find out what house you're in. And I found this 12-minute video of a guy clowning on Hufflepuffs and how boring they are. So I sent it to her, and she got really mad at me. I don't recommend it. Used to be a radio talk show guy. His name was Neil Bortz. And he was on the radio for like 40 years. And he used to call his wife two things. One was the queen, and the other was she who must be obeyed.
Ooh, good advice.
Yeah, like Voldemort.
Mm-hmm.
They call them you know who. Sets a Hufflepuff. Shocking.
I mean, everyone wants to be a Gryffindor, but not everyone can be a Gryffindor. You know what I'm saying?
Do you want to be from the house that saves the day every book, or do you want to be from that other house?
I want to be from the house that's like a B+ is good enough.
Because you need 4 houses, right? There's the boring one, and then there's the one nobody knows, and then there's the bad guys, and then there's the heroes.
I want to be in the party house. Which one's like the party?
The Delta Tau Chi.
Yeah.
Me too.
The party Harry Potter house.
Right. Your name is Blast-Ended Scroot. Let's see if anybody gets that one. Cedric was in Hufflepuff. Yeah, well, Cedric didn't make it, did he? Animal House. Delta Foo.
Delta Foo.
Hell yeah. Poochie's uncle. Mike F. Those are all famous Delta Foo.
I need a refresher on the Deaf Rat guy.
He's still doing that bit. He's been doing it for like 20 years.
It's sad days when you're sitting just checking your email and you get an email from your fraternity, like as I was a Sigma Phi Epsilon, says, "Hey, douchebag, your house got shut down because you guys are idiots." That's what basically the email I got the other day from my national fraternity was. My chapter got shut down because of drinking and smoking of marijuana in unsanctioned times or live outs or I don't know. My house got shut down for 4 years now, though, which is really pretty lame. It's the biggest house at Oregon State, too.
Well, it was. They gave it to the Tri-Lambs.
I don't know what they're going to do with the property. It's like a gigantic southern-looking fraternity house. It's right next to campus. It's just going to be sitting for 4 years with no one doing anything in it.
Hopefully you didn't donate a lot of money.
Come on. Let's be serious.
Yeah. I have a project, Tom. A good friend of mine asked me to sell off a bunch of his knife stuff. And I've got a big box of stuff sitting here by my desk. And he gave it to me some time ago. And I haven't tackled it yet because it's daunting and I've been very busy. But lately with my shift in my job, I have a lot more free time. So I'll probably be posting some stuff for sale. But what's extra annoying is I have no idea what things are worth anymore. In the 2025 economy, it seems like there's a lot of stuff that isn't selling so well. So I have some things here that I have no idea what they're worth. So I threw up a post the other day asking for some asking some, what's this worth? And all I got was like 2 people that said, I want it. And then everybody else is like, I don't like those. Like, thanks.
That's the best way to get around the rule of listing a price is just, I'm just going to ask how much it's worth and I'll sell it in the comments.
That was the other thing. I was trying to avoid that because I hate that look.
Yeah.
And I hate those dudes that are like, anybody know anything about this? Like, yeah, it's a knife. But yeah, I didn't want to be that guy. So a couple days went by. I got no help from the group. So I don't know. I might just take a stab at it and post some stuff.
What are some examples of these knives that are out of the typical?
There's let's see, like a couple Delicas and Endura and some Dragonflies. There's 2 Microtechs that are in excellent condition. There's a bunch of flashlights. And then there's like stuff that's going to be impossible, like a bag full of clips, a bunch of titanium deep carry clips. And like, I don't know what it's for. I don't know who made it. I used to know the difference between a Lynch and a MXG by looking at it, and now I really don't anymore. So it's getting harder to tell. But I'll have to. I think I've already photographed everything. Now it's a matter of like writing up all of the Shakespeare to go with it, so I can post it. I don't know.
Yeah, it is interesting. I get asked a lot in DMs like, "What's this worth?" And it's never anything like, "What's this M390 PM2 worth?" It's always like, "What's this worker worth?" Or
Right.
"What's this Damascus Delica worth?" I'm like, I don't. Do they still make that? I don't know.
Native
Or did they make
2?
it 30
I have
years
no
ago?
idea. Yeah. And then there's stuff like this that's not even opened. This is an O knife that's new in box, like sealed up.
Oh, O knife, like O
Yeah,
light.
like Olight.
Okay.
One of them. Oh, and then also there's a Combat Troodon, which is actually, I'm gonna say it live here. I don't hate it.
No.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
It's got a heavy action on it, man. But it's pretty fun.
Good. You can like break your way out of a car with a glass breaker on the back of it.
It's got the B hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does not come with a can of sprayer and a can of WD-40. I understand that's what's supposed to come with it. But yeah, this is a tough switch, man.
See, that's the thing about Microtex is like, I know there's a bunch of different ones, but to me, that's an out the front automatic Microtech. That's all it is. I don't. What's a Combat Trudon versus an Ultratech versus? I don't know. They all look the same, but I know they're worth totally different amounts of money.
So I think the Combat is the biggest one, and then the regular Troodon is the normal sized. So it's like XL regular, and then the ones that have 85, 75, those are percent like shrink. You know, when you go to print a document and you can make it 85% as big or 75.
Yeah.
So that's the size of the knife.
Okay.
And the funny thing is if you don't put the box in the photo with the knife, then you can't tell which one it is because they're basically just shrunken versions. It's like you left it in the dryer too long. So when I hold this up, you guys won't be able to tell, other than my massive masculine hands. You're not gonna be able to know. Like it's kind of the same thing, but it's just smaller. See?
Yeah.
And it makes less of a noise.
Less fun.
This one's actually pocket sized. You could actually carry this and use it and have a good old time. But also they're double edged, so I'll make sure to sell this to some Aussie, so they can get in trouble.
Those are fun to sharpen, though. It's doable.
Did you see that they're prosecuting a member of parliament in the UK for liking a post on X?
No.
It's a hate crime to like a post on X if the post is deemed to be naughty. So that's fun. I don't think they're interested in a double-edged automatic out the front. That's probably the wrong market.
Probably not.
Probably not. Combat Troodon is a big knife. It is. It's not zombie themed either. So I don't know if the zombie knives are worth more or worth less. To me, they're worth less.
I think it's the matter of like fake patina on the Microtech makes it, but like that bounty hunter, whatever, that guy from Star Wars, that one with like all that stuff. All
guy from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy. That jazz one, that one's expensive. What's that guy's name? The bounty hunter?
Arcarola.
Oh, okay.
It's worth half of what you bought it for right now at best. Ouch. Dog. The bounty hunter, Tom.
Oh.
Yeah.
If he had his own knife, who would make Dog the Bounty Hunter's?
His name was Mando Calrissian.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Boba Fett. That's what I was trying to think of.
All right, guys. I'm going to out Tom here. He's never seen Star Wars.
Not like the actual one. I mean, I've seen the original. Like, let's not get into the 1, 2, 3, 4 prequel. I've seen the original Star Wars. Like,
you saw the OG 3
like
movies.
the original one, like a bunch of times when I was a kid. And then they started making spoofs and other movies based on Star Wars. I saw some of those in those cartoons, and that filled my need to not watch any more Star Wars. Family Guy did it up good. I got it covered.
At this point, I would avoid it. Unless it's Robot Chicken, just stay away. It stopped being good like 6 movies ago. It's been kind of a quiet week in knives, Tom.
Has it though? I mean, didn't you get another knife?
There hasn't been any scandal or controversy. There haven't
Yes,
been any
there
fist
has.
fights.
There's
Has there?
been one specifically.
Do you mean the guy that got asked to leave the club, or do you mean
Yeah.
this? Oh, that's
nothing
true.
nothing outlandish. But you did get your 15V milli,
I
and
got my 15V Millie too. It came
those
out of
are
the box first.
available. Those are available out there. You can go get one. They're on
Yep.
the shelves right now, and they won't be forever. That's the problem with sprint runs. I think people have got in their heads at this point that if Spyderco's don't sell out within 2 minutes, then you have 2 years. That's not quite right anymore. Like sprint runs will hit dealer shelves and they're going to sell out. You have to hunt for them a little bit more. But that milli is, I don't know if you're ever going to be able to beat that milli.
I'll tell you what. I think the Millie 2 is like an improvement on the PM2.
I agree.
It is just amazing. Just the shape of it. Like, let's just talk about the shape for a minute. The way that it curves makes it such a good cutting device. It's fantastic in the hand. You got big hands, small hands, doesn't matter. But this is the XL version of the PM2, but with better blade kick. So the PM2 does not have the same blade kick as Millie. It has a little bit.
Yeah.
But the Pair 3 has more.
You mean like arch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way the blade, like the worst offender is the Gale Bradley 2, which is a knife that I don't love, and I know some of you watching this love the Gale Bradley 2, but it's a bit like a table knife in your kitchen because the blade's so damn straight. It doesn't feel like it's good for cutting things, but this blade really will cut, and it's really not a lot heavier than PM2, but it is longer.
Well, I mean, all that's there, it's more is a little more steel in the blade and those like the handle on the Military 1 and the Military 2, it's just G10.
I think they really just said, all right, screw it. Let's just make a longer version of the PM2. And they did. So when I lay these two back to back, roughly the same starting point here, it's just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So you get a longer blade, you get a fantastic grip, and then just that angle on the blade itself makes for a really excellent cutting tool.
I feel like people haven't given the Military 2 enough credit for being a new model yet because one, it's the Military 1 is kind of the same and PM2 is kind of the same. So the Military 2 isn't counted as a new model. It doesn't count. Spyderco think it's something new. Do something better, Spyderco.
It seems for now they're going to continue making the M1 and the M2 parallel to each other. So if you like the liner lock, you're still out there. I love that one too. I don't love the pocket clip. I don't think it needs the big base plate that goes all the way around the pivot screw.
No,
I just don't love it. So the pocket clip is obviously more lefty friendly on the new model. So yeah, I've been carrying this one this week. I love it. The 15V steel I like a lot. I just saw a guy online was using 15V versus S90V. And he was comparing the two in a cut test challenge. And so he had some leather and he had some plastic and he had some cardboard and he was cutting it up. And the test was not very scientific because one of them had been sharpened and the other one hadn't. And he basically came to the determination that, the 90V and the 15V performed very similarly. And it makes sense. Like on Laren's testing, he shows that their edge retention is fairly comparable. I do think that 15V is easier to sharpen, and I don't know why. We should have Sean on to talk about that, but it does seem surprisingly easy to sharpen. Takes a great edge. It also holds an edge for a long time. I think the finish is cool as shit. And if you're not afraid of patina, you're not afraid of your steel maybe changing color over time.
Yeah,
the 15V is an awesome choice, but S90V is always going to be a favorite of mine, just because it's such a good performing steel.
Yeah. Well, on that sharpenability point, it's over my head to know what going through Sean Houston's head when he's coming up with how do I make this knife more sharpenable. But I will say a lot of people I think are afraid of like 15V and S90V to sharpen them because those are hard steels. Like if you have diamond plates on your sharpener, you can sharpen those steels. It's not magic. You can sharpen Maximate, you can sharpen S90V, K390. All that stuff is doable with good plates. The difference is with 15V that makes it easier is I find once you've apexed the edge, getting it to create a burr is really easy. And that's, to me, what makes a knife easy or not easy to sharpen is just the creation of the burr. Because you can be sharpening on something forever, and you're probably sharp. You can probably flip it. You can probably do whatever. But unless you have that burr, you don't know for sure. And 15V is a really good job at creating that quickly.
Yeah, and obviously there are steels out there that form a burr really easily, like VG10. VG10 burrs like crazy, and you run your finger under the blade and you can feel that wire there, and you just know that you've apexed and you're good. And then there are other steels that don't really do that as much. And you know, Rex 121 doesn't really show a burr to the same degree that VG10 will, for example. And that has to do with the matrix and the steel. So they're just different.
Yeah.
So with 15V, it cuts well. That tells me that the carbides are small. If the carbides were big, then it wouldn't cut quite as easily. Somebody got really mad at the 15V finish. He used his camera and like zoomed in 30x and saw the grind lines and didn't like that and felt it was not okay on a $200 knife and that it should do better. And the thing I would say is what you might think is a $200 knife now used to be like, it's not a threshold anymore. Like things go up in price over time. So
yeah,
a $200 knife is now no longer an elite knife, just like you can't buy a $25,000 pickup truck anymore.
It's also setting your expectations for what it's supposed to be. Is it supposed to not have those lines? Is it supposed to be? No,
right.
It's supposed to be a spider coat. It's supposed to be a cutting tool. It's supposed to be well finished. It's not supposed to have crazy flaws or anything, but having the grind lines visible on a blade, that's how they made it.
I just noticed the centering. The centering on my knife is off.
Yeah.
Yeah. See that? It favors the clip side.
Mm-hmm.
If only there was a way to. Oh wait, look at that.
Will it stay there?
Will it stay there? It'll stay there until I sit on it or until I flex it back. I just bent it out of whack on purpose so that I could bend it back. But yeah, I mean, you're going to put this in your pocket, right? You're going to carry it. You're going to sit down. It's going to flex along with your leg a little bit. You're going to walk around all day with your knife in your pocket. By the time you get home, it may not be as centered as perfectly as it was at the beginning of the day. And that's okay. I think everybody spends way too much time obsessing about centering. Centering is just not important the way that it was in the 80s, where you could get a real garbage knife because the pivot was too small for the hole in the blade, and then it would wiggle around and you have failure of your knife. I don't think that's true anymore in Spydercos. They build them too well. So rather than taking apart your knife and driving yourself crazy trying to figure out how to keep the centering centered, I don't understand worrying about it to the degree that some people do. It's pretty easy to fix. I just demonstrated it now. You can just flex the knife until it's centered again. Tom does it all the time with Para 3s. They come from the factory and they may not be perfectly centered. Really, all you have to do is just give it a little bit of a flex and suddenly it's centered perfectly.
A second, I got someone at my door. A second. That's just Amazon.
Something at your door. Holy cow.
Someone ring my doorbell. I have a Nest doorbell, like it got a camera in it. Yep. And it's got this big glowing button.
Yep.
No one ever touches the button though. Everyone just knocks on the door and leaves. Like, I appreciate if you ring the doorbell because it turns the camera on. I can see what you're doing. I can talk to you if I'm in like upstairs and I'm going to be a minute.
People have a weird code of ethics lately where they think ringing a doorbell is rude.
I know.
So they think knock on the door. Yeah. If you go to any sales training,
I'm inviting the attention. I put the big glowing button on my door.
Well, Tom, if you go to any sales trainings, they teach you to knock, not ring the bell, because friends knock, whereas strangers ring bells. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I feel like I've been yelled at equally for both of them.
I always don't trust people's door bells as being functional because unless I can hear them go off.
Right.
So I'll sit there and hit it over and over again. Like I hope they're hearing it.
Andrew Smith brings up a point. Carbide composition matters. Vanadium carbides versus chromium carbides. So Tom, you're right. Diamond stones matter, right? And they cut better than regular crappy stones. However, vanadium is almost as hard as a diamond. So if you had a big block of vanadium and you had a big block of iron, you would be able to shave the iron faster than the vanadium because the iron is softer. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So a knife that is rich in carbides should be harder to sharpen because the carbides make it harder, and also the chunks of carbides are slower to sharpen than the iron. So if you have a knife that's cooked properly, like the 15V is, then it's going to have small carbides. So that's probably why we're finding that it's pretty easy to sharpen. S90V does not have small carbides, by the way. If you buy Laren Thomas's book and you flip to the part with S90V, he has photographs of the steel and you can see the matrix of the steel, and it's got big chunky carbides in it. So it's not refined as smoothly as some of the other steels are. Ryan Filippo says, ring the bell until the dogs bark.
Gotta watch out for my cats. The cats will get you.
Yep. I'd rather ring the doorbell too, and knock on the door sends my dogs in overdrive. My dogs bark if a squirrel farts outside. I carried my Bowie this week, Tom. Maybe it was the Valentine's Day gift thing from Knife Joy.
Yeah.
Talking about how you could get yourself a Bowie with a pink little native for $500. It's a pretty good deal. Pink little native is probably a $150 knife, and the Bowie's $449. So you're getting yourself a $150 knife for $50. It's a pretty good deal.
I'm trying to see if it's still available or if that was just yesterday. Do you know?
I don't know.
Their website. Well, yesterday for $500 that was available. I don't know if it's still today, but it's a hell of a deal. You get a Bowie, you get a little native, and you can like pretend it was a gift the whole time.
There's things I don't love about the Bowie, but honestly, overall, I would say this is one of Spyderco's best knives. The size is fantastic. It's great in the hand. The blade shape is terrific. Tasteful jimping. The blade thickness is terrific. It has a crown spine. The feel in the pocket is nice. The wire clip makes it sit deep in the pocket. There's not much to hate about this knife other than the screws stink. I wish when you disassembled it didn't fall apart. Like if I pull these two screws here, the standoffs fall out the backside with the screws still in them.
Yeah.
So I've learned on the Bowie, guys, it's better to disassemble it from the top scale than from the back, because there is a keyed spot on the back of the scales where the standoffs fit into a D shape.
Yeah.
On the back, but not on the top. So if you're going to take apart your Bowie, open the blade and then take it apart from the top, and then put it all back together in the same order.
What kind of torque screws are going to need for those bad boys?
It's like an 8.5 on the pivot, and then it's like a 6 1/4 on the.
So just open your Torx kit, look for the 6 1/4 and the 8.5. Everyone's got those covered.
I can't understand why they continue to make screws with non-standard sizes, and that's the only thing I can think of is they're not very standard, and someone at the factory doesn't know to double check the work. It's weird. I highly recommend you go to ripsgaragetech.com and get yourself a new set of hardware. So
yes,
I actually have a Sliz Bowie project, Tom. I got an evil genius that's giving me a new coating on the handles, and I intend to order some good screws to upgrade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The only thing I really hate about the Bowie is the discussion that always has to go along with it. Like I can't just post a fucking, hey, the Bowie's on sale without the 14 people in comments goes, yeah, but is it worth it? I don't think it's worth it. So to me, it's not worth it. So to you, it shouldn't be worth it either. So you shouldn't buy it because it's not worth it.
Yeah. Stop enjoying your knife and agree with me.
Yeah. That's my biggest issue with the Bowie is just I don't know why this has had to be this way for so long and had to be. I can't even, in those posts where people start dissecting if it's worthwhile, I'm not even allowed to have an opinion because people freak out and attack me like I'm trying to be some kind of dictator saying, hey, just chill out. And no, that's not okay. Everyone's got to have a very firm value-based opinion on the Bowie. And that kind of sucks.
I think you and I created our own hell by declaring it to be the GOAT.
True.
If you weren't around at the time, Tom and I knew that the reissue was coming because Knife Joy had told us. And in a live stream, Tom and I talked about what is the best Spyderco that's been discontinued. So we both decided that the Sliz Bowie was the greatest discontinued Spyderco. So if you can think of a better Spyderco that's been discontinued, I'd love to hear your opinion, but I don't think there is one. Really just an excellent knife. It's a really great size. It's nice in the hand. It cuts great. I don't know what you hate about it other than the screws, but I mean, nothing's
the blue anno, to be fair, the blue anno, I can't stand behind the blue anno, but you can do things to address that. If you really want a Bowie, you can stone wash it, you can blast it, you can do all sorts of stuff with it.
It's pretty easy to remove anno. It's not hard. So remove it or have it blasted, have it tumbled. Rub it out. You prefer the David Bowie? David Bowie was kind of hit or miss. He had some phenomenally good songs and he had some really bad songs. So Jonathan, if they are Torx Plus screws, I don't think that was deliberate. They wouldn't make one knife with Torx Plus screws and the rest of their knives don't, but I do think Torx Plus probably fits better.
I think I've seen people saying they use Torx Plus more successfully, but the general consensus was once those screws come out to replace them with Rips Garage Tech screws to go back in.
I've owned 2 Nirvanas and I sold them both. I want a Nirvana, but every time I own one, I regret it. It's a lot of money to spend on a knife that's not very great. I don't think you can mass produce a knife like that at a factory and have it turn out perfect. The integral part combined with the frame lock makes it really, really difficult to dial them in, right? And at a factory level, you can't dial in a knife. You're building the parts on machines, and then at assembly time, you want to be able to assemble 8 an hour. So I don't know about you guys, but if I take apart a PM2 and I, make sweet love to all the parts and put it back together again, I can do 3 an hour. That's it. So they don't have the time to put into the Nirvana to dial it in the way that Rasanti does. So I found that they were both really crude. The lock bar stick was profoundly bad. And then on top of that, the blade is not really designed for cutting that well. It's a very thick blade and it's a scanty grind. So it's very steep from the edge to where it gets the fattest. So there's this really thick part of the blade. So it doesn't slice that great.
I think people get mixed up between like cool factor and usability factor. Cause like the Bowie is legitimately a good knife for being a knife. Nirvana is more cool factor, like it's got integral. How does integral help it? Well, it makes it cooler if you're into that kind of thing, but it doesn't make it a better knife than the Bowie necessarily just because it's an integral.
Yeah, I don't know that it makes it. I don't know that the integral part adds rigidity to the handle, but it also just makes the knife harder to manufacture. So if you're asking a factory to do it the hard way, is that really why? Why are we asking them to do it the hard way? Tom, have you handled a Nirvana?
I think I've handled Alex's with Spyderco's, his customized one. But that's about it.
His was heavily modded too. So yeah. The finish on the Nirvana is a little sus. It's that chalky titanium feel that you get from the Taichung factory, but like another level chalkier. So it's very weird in the hand. And another thing that I was really stuck on is I felt like every time I touched the knife or used the knife, I was going to damage the knife. I was going to make it look crappy. And the blade itself has a real satiny finish to it also. So it just feels fragile. It doesn't feel like a knife you can go get some work done with. So I think the Bowie's better from that standpoint. It's just you can live with it more. You can use it.
Any knife that you have to say, oh, just get the blade reground, that's a significant flaw with that knife. If you have to say, just spend $300 to have someone regrind a blade so you can cut paper with it better, nah, I'm good.
Dude, Seth just queued me up. I did get another knife. Oh yeah, pimp.
Oh shit.
I got one of the Natty Amore collabs with Lerman Custom Knives. So this was a Slice FK pre-order. So this knife was co-designed by Natty and by Lerman, and it has some of the really distinctive elements that you see from Natty's designs, like the subvert. So you have the titanium full liners going the whole length of the knife, and then you have these scale elements on top. So this has a bolster style with a handle scale, and the handle scale almost looks floating. Tom, see the gap here?
Yeah,
a little bit of a gap. So Natty does that a lot on his customs, and he echoed that on his factory made knife, and it is really nice, really cool. Paper micarta handles, and then the titanium is all bronzed out. The lighting in here isn't showing it that great. Pocket clip's really cool, works really well. And then let's talk about the blade. This blade looks like something out of a cartoon almost. Just a really cool recurve Bowie style blade.
It looks like one of your other knives, one of your customs, the blade shape.
One
of the Doyles. Don't you have one kind of like that?
A little bit. It reminds me the Bowie part definitely looks like the Doyle, but then this recurve here is sort of reminiscent of a Grimsmo, like a Norseman. Yeah. So closed, the knife has, flipper tab, not too big, not too small, pretty nice in the pocket, but then makes a fantastic sound when you deploy it. RWL 34 blade. I think they've done like 6 versions of these that are available from different makers or different knife stores. This was the first one that I saw that came out. But there's some other models. I think Slice had 3 or 4 to choose from. And then American Edge Knives up in Minnesota, they had some to choose from as well. Really cool. I like Natty's work. He's one of my favorite follows on Instagram, and his customs are just sick. I remember Dan Hawkins showed up at a Blade Show with one, and it cost more than it cost more than my first 3 cars, but it was flawless, utterly flawless. What are y'all's thoughts on the Spyderco Positron? I want a Spyderco with a flipper. Do not buy a Positron.
Don't. I almost stopped buying Spydercos after I bought a Positron. It was the first nice, like Taichung, whatever you want to say, nice Spyderco. I bought one. The 2 biggest hits against it are the ergonomics, unless your hand is magically shaped a weird ass way, is not a comfortable knife to hold. And 2, Spyderco is really bad at making flippers. They just kind of suck at it. If you want a flipper, get a smock. That's about it. I can't recommend any other Spyderco flippers besides the smock as being enjoyable to flip.
When you're looking at a flipper, guys, you want to make sure that the flipper tab needs to be above the midpoint of the pivot. Otherwise, you're going to have problems. And on the Positron, if I remember correctly, the flipper tab is much lower on the knife. So it's below the pivot. And what that means is when you're applying force to the flipper tab, there's not enough inertia to make the blade fly open. So a lot of times on the Positron, it's would you call it a flaccid flip?
Flaccid flip.
Yes, I'll demonstrate that on one that's famous for it. Here's an example. This is a Pochi. The flipper tab is completely below the pivot. Now watch what happens when I flip it. There's no amount of blue pill that's going to save that knife. So the only way to really open it is you got to wrist it as you flip it, and you can get it out. But sad doggy. So I
haven't done a great job. I don't know what it is that's holding them up, because the Smock is legitimately a good flipper. Maybe it's just because of who designed it, thought that out, and Spyderco doesn't think it out. But their detents on the knives that you'd think would be good flippers, I have not experienced one that was snappy yet. Like Gail Bradley Advocate, I had high hopes for the Advocate. It's a really attractive looking knife flipper. I sent that knife back. I didn't keep it.
Yeah. Seth got the same natty that I did, and he also got one with purple ano from American Edge. That's pretty cool. What do you think of the Edgerati?
Why do I know that word? Is that a new Spyderco? I'm not sure what it is.
It's the skeleton handle.
Oh, all I see is a knockoff Oz Machine Company. I don't know. I need to handle one first. All I see is another skeletonized knife. So I don't know. It's not.
To be fair, Spyderco was doing skeleton knives long before those other guys.
Absolutely. I
think it's fun.
It's cool. I just haven't really prioritized it by any means. I'll see it when it comes out.
I don't know that I'll get one, but I want to check it out.
Yeah.
Not hearing great reviews of the Techno 3. I haven't tried one. I want to try
one either.
Is the Domino a good flipper? No.
Ask Steven.
Hey, brother. If you guys reach out to Steven Thompson, he'll tell you all about the Domino. No, it's really Eric's best design. Steven hates it when I make his voice, but this is what he sounds like. It's incredible.
And he's never going to watch the show.
That's right. Steven doesn't watch the show.
I'm too busy, brother. I don't have time for that. I'll send you an invoice.
Yeah, so Domino's okay.
It's okay, but it's not a great flipper either. It's the same thing. It's like got a weak detent. The Mantra 1, I had huge hopes for the Mantra 1. It looks just like a Delica 5. So if they took the Delica, made a new version of it, and fixed all the Delica's flaws, made a little bit bigger blade, that's what the Mantra 1 was. It's a flipper, and it would be a cool knife if you ground the flipper tab off.
That's right, brother.
Just don't do it.
Ryan Flippo's birds.
Ooh.
My Domino flip's okay, but I had to bend the lock bar in a little bit. So that's the thing on flippers. You have to have enough pressure on the blade so that when the detent ball lets go, there's enough stored energy that it causes the blade to fly open. But if your detent ball is too tight, then you have to mash your finger into the knife to get it to open, and that's not fun either. So you really want a stiff detent, but not too stiff. And Chris Ortiz at Cerberus has really given me a lesson on that, Tom. What he tells me is the most important thing is you don't want to see detent lash. So does the blade move before the detent ball lets go? Well, if it does, then that's because the lock bar is actually wiggling before the detent ball lets go. So some of the knives that Chris likes the best are the ones where the lock bar doesn't move even a little bit. So you apply that pressure and nothing moves until bam, it just opens.
Yeah.
So that seems to be harder to engineer. And that's something that he looks for in a knife. And now that he's pointed it out to me, I really don't like him very much because a lot of knife makers they don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So if you make that a standard, you're going to be disappointed a lot. Poncho says that the Mantra 3 is actually a decent flipper. Haven't tried one.
I don't know if I've seen the 3 yet. That is painful. Don't do that to your hands.
Yeah,
do not front flip a shaman. Unless you want to scrape all the skin off your finger, don't. There's no reason to, is my point. I see people saying like, oh, I got to front flip my shaman because it makes it another way to open it. It makes it that much cooler. It's got a thumb hole. It's got a thumb hole. It's all you need. Just thumb that shit open. Thumb it.
Nope. You told me about a nice knife that does that. So the Jason Aravello custom that Chris let me play with had the best lock bar I've ever felt. Flat out. Dude's not making knives right now, which is annoying. That'd be nice. But yeah, they're pretty sweet. Stiff flippers are always better than flaccid flippers. That's what she said. So, all right, sweet. I forgot about the slice. Thanks, Seth, for reminding me. I appreciate it. Well, Tom, we got a drop on Tuesday with the Rex 76. We got a giveaway I got to set up. That'll be fun. What else? Anything else going
on? Don't forget about these guys.
Yeah, coins, guys.
Time to go stock up. So if you're holding out, waiting for people to get them, fuck them. Just go buy as many coins as you want right now and sell them out.
Still some coins in stock. Not a ton, but there are still some left. So please go grab them. If you've got them, post some pictures, tag Tom and I in it so we can thumbs up and send you kisses. Also, these brass tags, guys, this is just something that Jeff started doing. He found somebody that makes them, literally just like Geppettos them in their house. And he ordered some that said MPM2 P3 Club. And then he sent them to people as a gift. So they were like a symbol of like fidelity to Jeff, right? So if you got one with the original tags, you're in rarefied air. I don't think there were more than 20 of those. But when we changed the name of the club, he decided to re-release more of them that just say Millie Club. And the purpose of these is like they're good for photos, but really they go in your keychain. So I've got one, I've got two. This one's not affiliated yet, but the other one I've got on my keys. That's what they're really designed for, is to go on your keys. It's about the same size as the keys, so it fits nice on there. It isn't a lot of like extra wasted space. So if you think they're cool, grab one. If you don't, that's fine. The Spy Mido was the best flipper because they gave you the option to take the flipper off. I agree.
That's not a bad idea.
The top secret knife I was hiding was this knife. PM2 Bricky Rex 76 satin. That's what it was. Well, kids, Tom's not feeling great, and I'm all right now, but I wasn't feeling great earlier, so I think we're going to wrap it up.
Yes, do that.
We were going to do a short show, but somehow we managed to go an hour anyway.
I got one thing. So the hoodies, 3 of the 12 boxes of hoodies, 3 of 12 boxes of hoodies actually have a delivery date that's been updated and tracking and cleared customs and on my way. Those will be here like early next week. I still got 9 boxes that are being fucked with at the Canadian border. So I'm going to start sending stuff out as soon as stuff comes in. I'm not going to have all the hoodies until at least a week from now if I get this figured out why they're stuck in customs. But some are coming. I will send them out as soon as they get there. And I'm excited for you guys to get these in hand.
I'd say send them as you get them. Don't feel like you got to save them all up and then drop them.
No, I'm going to send them as soon as I get them in. I'll send them out based on whoever ordered first.
Yep. So the Rex 76 PM2 drops Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time. It's going to be on gpknives.com. So Jamie and the kids over at GP Knives, supporters of the club, they sent this knife for free so that we could give it to you guys. So we're going to be doing a giveaway for the knife. Tom and I don't make a buck from this. We're just doing it because it's fun, and we know you guys like free shit. So we got a giveaway knife, and I'll post that as soon as I'm able to put it together. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of the show. We got lots of sign-off jokes now, Tom. We got Stay Moist. We could go with Lederhosen. Yep. If you still want a hoodie and you didn't get a hoodie, DM Tom. He might have an extra size left over. So
what I'm going to do is once they all come in, and I've shipped all of them out, and I know everyone that ordered one has theirs, I will take all the extras that I ordered, which is not a lot, but it's like 2 to 3 per size, per style. And then I will list them for sale, and it'll be first come, first serve. I've had a lot of people message me and ask for them, so I can't just like sell off the few extras that I have. I need to make it fair. So I'll list a post, and you gotta jump on it when it goes up.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a nice evening. We'll catch you next week. Hopefully, we'll be joined by Brian Roden, Mailman Down EDC, and we'll be able to yell at him about the. No, I'm not going to yell at him. We'll be able to talk about knives and the knife collecting and knives from his point of view. So, thanks for watching, everybody.
Peace out.